Hello everybody. I wanted to do a video on on my touring bike here. Just picked up not too long ago a Raleigh Sojourn, and I'm just getting into bicycle touring, and I've done a lot of research on which bike I should buy, and I went back and forth between the Surly and this Raleigh Sojourn. Initially, when I was doing the research, I didn't find a whole lot of information, at least videos, about the Raleigh Sojourn. So I thought for this video, in case others are trying to, investigating on buying a bike, I can show you what the Raleigh came with, the Sojourn came with, and what I've added, the modifications that I've added since I bought it. I live in Monterey, and I plan on doing some trips to Santa Cruz, which is not too far, maybe 30 miles each direction. But I also live fairly close to Big Sur, and my plan is to ride through Big Sur this summer, so I've been doing a lot of riding. So again, I'll go over what the bike came with basic, and then I'll go over the things that I've added since then. So looking at the bike now, what I'm going to do is go over some of the stock items that came on the bike when I first bought it. So here I have a cluster. It's the 11 through 34. It's a 9-speed. I didn't feel any need to change it because it's pretty good gearing from what I read for touring. So there's no need for me to change it right now. I like it a lot, so it seems to work pretty well. Secondly, is I have this Shimano Dior, which, for right now it works fine. I haven't had any issues with it. It's very easy to adjust, so I'm gonna stick with that, and I like it. So again, that comes stock. Again, working from the back to the front, it comes stock with this rack in the back. I think it's a tubeless rack, if I remember correctly. May be wrong, but I've had it loaded down with my side bags, panniers, and pretty heavy, and it doesn't wiggle or any problems with it. So I'm going to keep this for now. And I like it, so it works well so no need to spend extra money since it's working well. The rear fenders, those come stock as well. No issues with cracking or problems with rubbing or anything like that, and they work well, so I have no issues with those. I like them. They're pretty light as well. Same thing with the front rack fenders, front wheel fenders. Works well. No issues with it. I like it. They look okay. No problems with rubbing or anything. Going back a little bit, what I tend to overlook are these little, I don't know if you call it spoke holders, if you will. These two little jigs that hold the spokes, and it comes stock holding 2 extra spokes. So if you're on a road and you have an issue, you have 2 spares right there you can carry. And I tend to forget about those, but yeah, it's pretty useful, pretty convenient. So again, you don't have to carry them in your bags and have the possibility of them poking through or something like that. Going to the other side a little bit, we have the disc brakes, and I know that's been I've read about a lot of discussion on the internet where some folks like the disc brakes and folks don't. For me personally, I like them. They work well. If I'm going to a place where I need extra, I'll just carry extra pads. It's no big deal. They're very easy to work on and adjust, so I have no issues with them, and they work well for me. And I know a lot of bikes are seeming like they're going toward them, or at least offer that option, which I'm used to them with my other bike, so I like it a lot. So no issue here. It also comes with stock with this pump. I've done some research on it. I haven't used it yet, but from what I read, it works well. It's pretty good. Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had to use it yet, but I'm sure it'll do fine if needed. And then going to the front again, we have the front disc brakes, and again, I don't have any issues with those. I like them a lot. They stop really well. They don't have any issues when they get heated or anything like that, but they work really well. Comes stock with this Brooks B17 saddle. I'm going to go around so you can see it a little bit because the light's not too well in my garage here. But again, the Brooks B17 saddle. Now, I've read and I've ridden, pretty far before, and I know the seat can be a showstopper. And when I seen this seat with no cushion on it, initially I thought, there's no way, I don't see how anybody can ride on that thing. But after doing some research, I've seen that a lot of people recommend these, and they speak highly of them. They're highly rated. And it comes stock on this bike. And after I have about 350, 400 miles on this bike, and it's very, very comfortable. I have to say, it's very comfortable, and I like it a lot. So, I'm never going to switch this seat. I really like it. So it's a good seat. These drop bars, it comes stock on the bike as well, and I like those as well. They're very comfortable. I like them. And what I'm going to they're comfortable, and it comes stock with this, as you can see, the Brooks B17 taping around it, which looks pretty nice, and it works well too. It's very, very durable. So again, I like it very much. I apologize for this blue bracket, this Parks bracket. That's the only way I can keep the wheel straight, and I had to put it on the stand because I can't film and try to keep the bike straight and everything while I'm filming. So I apologize for that. One thing I forgot to mention here is, again, stock is this crank, and the crank comes stock with a 50, 39, and 30 as a small chainring, which is okay for maybe a road bike, or okay if you're not doing any heavy loaded type touring. But if you're going to, in my opinion anyway, for me, if you're going to carry a lot of weight, for me, I had to switch this out because I found myself rarely using the big chainring, and then mainly using the 39 and the 30. So that's one of the things that I'll talk about, and when I talk about the modifications that I've done to the bike. So now we're going to talk about some of the modifications that I've done to the bike since I've had it. And again, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let me know. The whole purpose of me doing this video is because when I was doing research, there was really nothing video-wise in terms of what the bike came with, how it rides, what it comes with, those kinds of things. So I'm just trying to do this to help somebody else if they're making that decision and they kind of have some questions. So starting from going from the back to the front again, I've added the seat, Jan seat bag, if you will. Yeah, that works well, no issues there. The second thing I've added was this quick release. Initially when I bought it, it was just a regular clamp, but for me, I don't know about you guys, but I like to adjust my seat sometimes up and down, and depending on what kind of riding I'm doing, or I just don't like to be in the same spot, so sometimes I raise it up a little or down, and I don't want to get out tools every single time I have to adjust it. So it works for me. Next thing I added were these pedals here, Shimano pedals, where I can clip in with my shoes. It came with a stock with, forgot to mention, sorry, it came stock with regular pedals, but with my other bikes I use clip-ins, and it's just so much more efficient when you're climbing hills and just pedaling in general.